Allez, c'est parti. Alors, ce soir les amis, je vais vous présenter une chaîne YouTube qui a l'air très intéressante. La chaîne s'appelle The Glendale Archives. Hop, The Glendale Archives. Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette chaîne YouTube? Vous allez me dire. De ce que j'ai compris, c'est un projet analogue horreur, assez cool, heu, qui date, de attendez, on va voir un peu, mais la chaîne date depuis un petit moment. Ah non, d'une petite année, et qui, fait un peu parler niveau vues et tout, qui fait clairement parler d'elle et qui a l'air très intéressante. Ça consiste en quoi cette chaîne YouTube? Du coup, la personne qui s'occupe de la chaîne YouTube dit que c'est un archiviste qui, dans une base de données, d'archives, a trouvé des cassettes et dans ces cassettes, il a vu quelqu'un qui semble être seul sur Terre. Alors ça, c'est bizarre déjà. Et en plus, qu'il y aurait des gens sur cette Terre, pas vraiment des gens, des êtres, qui le nomment des nesters. Alors qu'est-ce que c'est des nesters? La traduction pour moi de nesters, ça serait des faiseurs de nids. Ni d'oiseaux, mais des faiseurs de nids. Donc très bizarre. Très très bizarre. Donc le délire de déjà que le mec soit seul sur Terre, bon, ok. Qu'on retrouve ses cassettes comme ça à l'arrache, bizarre. Et en plus, qu'est-ce que c'est que ce délire de nesters? Je pense que du coup, on va être sur un délire de mec qui tourne une sorte de vlog de lui seul sur Terre, mais qui va lui arriver des trucs vraiment pas cool, on va dire ça. Donc, pour ce faire, du coup, ce soir, on va regarder les vidéos, du coup, dans l'ordre, pas dont les vidéos ont été parues, mais dans l'ordre chronologique. Je pense que c'est le meilleur à faire pour nous, parce qu'on n'a pas suivi les vidéos à leur sortie au fur et à mesure. Du coup, autant essayer de reprendre l'ordre chronologique de toutes les vidéos, enfin, dans l'histoire du sujet. Et comme ça, au moins, on aura une compréhension de ce qui se passe, et du coup, bah, comprendre un peu le délire. Je ne sais pas combien il y a de vidéos. Bah voilà. En gros, il y a à peu près une petite heure de vidéo là. Donc, on va se les faire en full react. On va regarder tout ce projet-là. On va voir de quoi ça en retourne. C'est un projet qui est en cours, donc il y aura sûrement des suivis à faire. Je vous... Attendez 2 secondes. Je vous mets sur YouTube, enfin dans le chat, le lien. Hop, si vous voulez vous abonner et suivre cette chaîne. Mais en tout cas, ça a l'air assez cool. Donc, posez-vous tranquillement. Bien sûr, c'est des vidéos en anglais. Euh, pour le stream, je vais mettre les sous-titres traduits automatiquement en français. Les 3 quarts du temps, c'est relativement quali. On arrive à très bien comprendre. Il n'y a pas forcément de grosses fautes. Donc, ça suffira pour nous pour tout comprendre. Et puis, voilà. Et vraie question, un jour, vous vous réveillez, vous êtes seul au monde. Que faites-vous? Euh, Je me tabasse la kick et je vais me recoucher. Non, j'en sais foutrement rien. J'ai pas ce délire de... Être seul au monde, ça me... Fou. En fait, ça me ferait bader. Je chercherais quand même des gens. Parce que autant j'ai pas trop de problèmes avec la solitude, mais je... Je serai enfin le meilleur du monde à CS. Non, mais autant j'ai pas trop de problèmes avec la solitude, mais je pense que je me raccrocherai à l'espoir qu'il y a encore des personnes en vie. Et du coup, je parcourrai le monde entier pour essayer de trouver quelqu'un. Il y aurait un côté flippant, je reconnais. Ouais, alors ça, par contre, en fait, le fait d'être seul au monde, c'est pas tant ça le problème, c'est l'imagination qui doit te faire bader dans tous les sens, parce que du coup, tu es seul au monde, mais si tu entends des bruits, tu crois qu'il y aura quelqu'un. Mais en fait, pour toi, tu es seul. Donc, ça serait très badant, ouais. Salut Ricos. Mais je sais pas. Et justement, je pense que le principe de cette chaîne YouTube et du coup de The Glendale Archives, ça va être justement de voir la santé psychologique d'un mec qui est seul au monde. Et ça, je pense que ça peut être très intéressant. Ça peut être très très cool. Donc, calez-vous les amis, on va commencer. On va commencer du coup par la première vidéo qui est sortie il y a 2 mois. Donc je le répète, c'est l'ordre chronologique dans l'histoire du mec de la vidéo. Pas l'ordre chronologique des sorties de vidéos, mais vraiment dans l'histoire du mec de la vidéo. Bah, comme vous le pouvez voir là, novembre 29, 2000 mes couilles, décembre 8, 2000 mes couilles, et ainsi de suite. Donc c'est parti. Hop, tac, hop. Alors, sous-titres. Paf. Anglais généré automatiquement, français. Ok. Eh ben, je pense qu'on est bon. Tac. Vous avez le son? Vous avez le son, je crois. Ouais.
About a week ago, I decided that I had to leave the city. It's been forever since I've seen another human.
Donc c'est clairement tourné en vlog.
The city was just getting way too dangerous.
Trop dangereuse? Pourquoi?
I was pretty much barricaded inside my apartment, except to occasionally grab some supplies. And Esther started showing up near my apartment.
Ah!
I realized it wasn't the place. It was my routine. So I had to leave.
C'est moi où on entend clairement des sortes de ah tout le long. C'est pas dans ma tête. C'est pas un bruit d'ambiance. Ça fait clairement des sortes de cris genre oh non oh. C'est chelou. Ah bah ça s'est arrêté.
I decided to make my way upstate to my childhood home. It's deep in the suburbs. The population is obviously lower, so
Bah du coup, il doit plus y avoir grand monde là.
nesters. It's also vacant. It has been for a while, which makes it feel safer. Fewer places to hide, which
mais mes couilles, c'est beaucoup trop grand.
to move. No surprises.
Quoi? Non mais là, il y a trop de portes, il y a trop.
I think I'm alone in a house, but I'm not.
Quoi?
Being here.
Attendez. On a vu une tête là?
But I'm not.
J'ai cru voir un truc bouger ici là. Attendez.
Sometimes I think I'm alone in a house, but I'm not.
Ah, il y avait quelque chose qui a bougé hein.
Being here, I feel safe. I feel somewhat comforted because I know the history that's in these walls. I figure if I'm gonna go down, I want to go down here.
Ok.
It cut my travel time in half if I walked through the mountains rather than around. But first I needed to navigate the interstate roadways.
Par contre, comment ils font pour tourner des trucs sans gens?
It's brisk up here. Take a look at this.
Alors, c'est joli la nature. Hein.
Eventually, nighttime began to set in.
Donc là, ça a acté que ça fait très longtemps qu'il a pas vu
So
quelqu'un.
it's getting pretty dark out, and I'm picking up a nester about
Ah, c'est le bruit qu'on
maybe a quarter
entendait.
mile out. It's just getting too dangerous to continue on foot. I have to find like a mountain house or something. I know there's some up in these mountains. I just gotta find one, and I pray it doesn't get too dark, because then it's gonna be impossible to see one. So
Après, les nesters là, ça a l'air d'être quand même à forme humanoïde. Non mais là, je me trimballe pas tout seul dans la forêt, sachant qu'il y a des monstres et tout. C'est quand même un gros bad.
there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
Et en plus, il sait qu'il y a un nester qui est pas loin, du coup un monstre qui est pas loin quoi. C'est un grand malade.
Alright, I did take a look at my map, and I see that there is a clearing on the terrain, just a ways up north here. So I'm gonna pray that it is not just a site for some previous architecture, or something. I'm praying that it's
Ah oui, bah ça.
a house or something, because it is not getting lighter. I gotta turn this thing off for a while. As luck would have it, I stumbled upon a house deep in the woods.
Parce que là, il est suivi là. Oh le bad. Mais là, il rentre dans une baraque comme ça, mais à tout moment, il y a des monstres. Oh, vas-y. Oh, ça me stresse à sa place, là. C'est un grand malade. Après, il a pas trop de choix, mais... C'est quoi cette organisation de con, quoi? America! Pourquoi il y va de nuit, ce con? J'ai pas vu un truc bouger? Non, c'est dans ma tête. Là aussi, il y a... Attendez, là, il y a un truc qui a bougé. Oui, il y a un truc qui a bougé. Oh, putain de merde. Alors, regardez en plein milieu de l'écran, là. Juste là, là. À peu près. Oh, putain. Il est pas tout seul.
I guess this will have to do. The house was warm and cozy. It was a safe haven in the midst of a snowy desert.
Ah, il est vraiment pas seul, hein.
Got a nice fire going. His signal's getting pretty weak, so I'd say he's probably about 3 miles out now.
Attendez, je suis désolé. Mais... On a vu quelque chose. Attendez, vraiment, regardez là, là. Regardez là. Concentrez-vous, c'est rapide, hein. Mais vraiment, dans la porte, vraiment dans l'entrée de la porte, il y a un truc qui bouge. J'active. Genre là, là. Ici, là. Vraiment ici. Il y a un truc qui bouge. C'est vraiment très rapide, mais... Là, là. Il est vraiment pas tout seul, hein.
It was a safe haven in the midst of a snowy desert. Got a nice fire going.
Et du coup, il est pas tout seul, mais son truc réagit pas.
His signal's getting pretty weak, so I'd say he's probably about 3 miles out now. So I think we're safe here for the night.
Mais pas du tout. Ah, par contre, du coup, regardez bien les angles. Hein. Oh, ça bouge. Et bah voilà, 3h15 du mat. Ah!
The next morning when I woke up, I couldn't believe the view that was hiding in the dark the night before.
Mais comment il est en chill? Il est en pur chill. Après, il a pas trop le choix, j'ai envie de dire, mais...
It had been a while since I'd seen anything that beautiful.
Et le soleil, on se le fout dans le cul, c'est comme à Tours.
I stayed for a while longer. Took part in some activities that made me feel normal.
Ouais. Fait une soirée avec une pote, on a fait un puzzle un peu pété. C'était incroyable. Je vous conseille, les puzzles un peu pétés, c'est vachement drôle.
Break 19, this is Tricky Spinner D copy. Eventually, it was time to leave.
Pourquoi il bouge à chaque fois, par contre? Bah, pour chercher des gens, je pense. Mais...
After a while, I could feel the air was changing. The trees were getting more sparse. The snow was melting a little. I was descending from the mountains.
Ah, parce qu'il était dans les montagnes, là?
I began seeing familiar landmarks. But the evening snuck up on me quick that day, and I was still a few miles from home.
Ah, mais faut arrêter! Il est à chier! Allô? Oh, putain, le son qui a coupé, là, ça m'a...
Alright, I found it a diner.
Mais un restaurant? Mais il y a 50 000 entrées sur un restaurant? Oh putain, en plus c'est kitsch, hein. C'est quoi toutes ces...
I sat for a moment, weighing whether it was worth turning on the electricity and opening up the kitchen. Since the kitchen and dining room had no windows, I decided it would be safe. I brewed myself a cup of French roast coffee. The warmth and familiar comfort of the drink lifted my spirits, easing me towards the promise of a long sleep in a warm building.
Ah, pas du tout, hein.
I guess this spot is as good as any to park up for the night. I'm gonna sleep in this booth. I've slept in worse. Night. The next day, I headed straight for home. Finally, I had reached a very familiar sight, the edge of my neighborhood. I had made it home.
Ok, donc là, il arrive officiellement chez lui, là où il voulait arriver.
All right, my house is just beyond this hill here. So we're getting in early. I'm glad about that. I gotta move because it's getting dark. The sun is starting to set here. So here we go.
Et là, enfin, il gère le soleil.
Okay, I gotta be mindful of these. There are steps here. It could be a nester. So I really gotta be
Ah
careful.
oui, puis vu la trace qu'il y a au sol, le Nestor, il a une énorme kick.
I think I'm gonna go in through the basement. It seems like the best route. I had to be quick because I really didn't want a nester to see me approaching the house. Oh, please, younger me, I've forgotten to lock this. Luckily, the window's unlocked. I've learned a preemptive approach to entering a strange building. I'll leave my CB radio with the volume all the way up. Let's back up and give it some room. If nothing comes, I generally know it's safe. I think we're good.
C'est quand même très aléatoire. Hein. Oh, regardez derrière lui, hein. Des fois qu'il y a un truc qui passe. Oh putain. Non mais ça, les plans comme ça la Blair Witch, ça me va pas. Hein.
Furnace room.
Salle des chaudières.
Better check the wine closet.
Sortez vos mamans.
All looks clear. Walking upstairs into the living room, I was struck by all the memories that flooded me. This is where we spent most of the time. Felt like time had left me behind.
Mais là, je m'attends vraiment à avoir un Nestor qui sort de nulle part. Hein. À chaque fois. Hein.
Gas doesn't work. I even found proof that
Appelez GRDF.
my and a childhood friend's name that we etched inside the wooden beams. That gave me a sense of comfort. I don't know why. Okay. This was my room.
Ah, il y a une petite pièce.
Check this storage space.
Oh putain, s'il y a un truc qui sort. Ah, il va se cacher là-dedans.
This was my brother's room. He used to look a lot bigger.
C'est quoi cette merde? Ok.
Typically by now,
J'ai l'impression d'être plus parano que lui.
we would have run into somebody. A nester, I'm pretty sure. This house is clear, which is good. A lot of these homes are furnished, which means that there's more resources in the house. More resources just means more like trouble you can run into. Check the garage.
Oh putain. Non mais y'a...
Forgot about the attic.
Mais ouais, y'a un grenier.
Okay, I think we're safe. So, this is a great place to nest right here because I can put a fire in this fireplace. I can cook some food on the fire because the gas stove's not working. And here's the big thing. Plenty of routes out. So I can escape through this big door. Plenty of windows. I can escape back through and through the basement. or I can go over here in the kitchen where there is 2 exits.
Ouais, mais plein de sorties, c'est
Prefer not to
plein
go
d'entrées.
upstairs because that's a place where I've been cornered before. The main thing is there's nobody here. There's no one living here now. So that's good. And that means that I can park up right here. I got some bread, some cheese, some butter, some garlic, and I'm gonna get a good night's rest. And we'll see, maybe I'll stay here a couple days. Because there's a lot of other things around this area that I would like to scavenge for potential things. Could be some good stuff around here. It was getting dark, so I began setting up my room for the night.
Moi, il y a vraiment, il y a... Alors, ok, le fait d'être encerclé et d'être bloqué face à un Esther, c'est la bite. Mais le fait d'avoir 50 000 trucs à surveiller, c'est aussi la bite.
So it's nearly nightfall, so I think it's a good time to start building the fire. Now with the fire, I like to start with a 3-layered base, a 3-log base. This gives the embers a place to fall and continue to burn. Without a solid base, the embers just fall, hit the stone, and then they burn out. So this will help our fire last a lot longer.
Ah, putain, je suis content de le savoir, mon salopard.
Next, we're going to build walls around the base. I like a Lincoln log pattern myself. Usually I build these walls a lot higher, but I'm going to be cooking a grilled cheese on this later, so put a log on top. Yeah, you want to give everything a destination, you know? The embers go down, the flames go up. So next we're going to stuff the fire with some of the debris I got earlier.
Eh bah, je suis vraiment content.
Sticks. Birch wood.
Pourquoi il y a eu un bruit chelou?
Some dried up leaves.
Super!
In the sides. Top here. This is a concoction actually my grandfather taught me. He was a farmer, and he was very, very skilled in woodworking and tractor mechanics, so he always had sawdust and old motor oil.
Oh putain, mon frérot, c'est pas que je m'en fous de ta vie, hein. Après, d'un côté, tu me fais un vlog, hein.
It was a very slow burning concoction, and we called it fire starter. So sprinkle some of this on top.
Après, il a raison, ça l'occupe, hein. Il est tout seul, donc on est un peu ses Wilson. C'est quoi à droite? J'ai vu une orbe.
That's a good old fire. I like that. I felt safe for the first time in weeks. And then I found it.
Quoi?
Okay, it's
Oh putain.
dark. And I'm a little freaked out.
Attendez, je sors mon meilleur duvet.
Because, like an idiot, I didn't check every nook and cranny of this place.
Mais voilà, t'es...
Found this.
C'est quoi?
I found a nest.
C'est quoi?
I mean, this is the room that I came in at.
Quoi?
So, like, I was just so damn eager to check the rest of the house that I didn't think to open this freaking closet.
Putain, on voit que dalle. Et je suis en HD là, c'est quoi ce délire? Attendez. Ah putain, je suis pas en HD. Attendez. Il y a du caca partout sur les murs.
I'm just like freaked out because it's too late to go anywhere else. I don't know if this is a live nest. It's like no wonder this.
Attendez, mais elle dit quoi la cassette? C'est ultra glauque. Ça dit sorry?
There's a lot.
Attendez. Je veux juste... Merde. Je suis désolé? Ouais, ça répète en boucle. I'm sorry. Eh bah yes.
It's like no wonder this window is open. There's a lock on the door upstairs.
Oh, il va tomber nez à nez avec ça.
Just gonna lock it. And lock all the other doors and it should be fine. Just pray that... I just pray that's a dead nest. It could very well be. I mean, that happens all the time.
Et sur la tête d'un chat errant.
It's just they never leave their sleeping bag. They never leave their pillow. I mean, why would you do that unless you were coming back?
Mais c'est quoi ces nesteurs du coup?
Couldn't let it break me. It was too dark to leave. I told myself I was old, inactive, that I hadn't done anything to wake it. I had stopped at the market along the way to get some ingredients for grilled cheese.
Okay, so I have 2 slices of white
Oh, je m'en
bread.
bats les couilles que tu vas te faire un croque-monsieur, mon salopard.
I also found a clove of garlic nearby, so I'm going to cut that up and mix it in with the butter. Let's start with chopping the garlic. So I threw that garlic all into my iron cast pan.
Ouais, mais c'est pas des gars, c'est des monstres.
Butter here that's going to melt over the fire. Next, let's assemble our sandwich.
Oh bah il est pas fâché avec le fromage lui. Non mais là tu tapes ta meilleure nuit blanche, on est d'accord. Et regardez bien les coins. Hein. À tout moment il y a un truc qui pop. Hein.
Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Sunday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 60s. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Ça existe les météos automatiques?
Died down enough so I can throw the pan on with the butter and the garlic. We're gonna let that butter melt. This is actually a great level of heat for this butter. It's not too hot, not too cold. Gives the butter time to melt without burning it.
Alors en fait je pense que
It's nice and melted, so I'm
c'est
going
normal
to
que ce soit
throw the
soft
sandwich on now.
à ce moment-là. Parce que dans l'ordre chronologique je pense que après ça va péter un câble.
The cheese, a rich smoky flavor which you'd never get on a gas stove, which is nice, but it's tricky because the heat is intense and uneven, so you gotta be careful. The goal is to toast the bread,
Parce que vraiment, qui me raconte comment il est en train de faire son croque-monsieur, qu'est-ce que je m'en bats les couilles.
and it's delicious.
Mais grande force à lui, hein.
Flip.
Il est en train de dormir au-dessus d'un monstre.
I tend to like my grilled cheeses a little overdone. I never quite understood why people don't like their cheese caramelized. I mean, that's like the best part, you know, when the cheese hits the pan and nicely. Look at that.
Ah oui, ça a l'air bon. Hein.
That is a grilled cheese right there. That's gonna crunch. All right, let's listen to this crunch. Woo! Yeah, let's go in.
Ah vas-y. Je veux pas t'entendre manger. Et je regarde à gauche là, l'entrée de la porte.
I can taste that smoke.
Putain, puis la caméra, les sons de la caméra qui... Vraiment t'entendre bouffer mec. Je vais péter un câble. C'est pas le Nestor qui va te buter, c'est moi. Hein.
This is hitting the spot.
Parle pas à bouche pleine.
Get warm and toasty in my sleeping bag.
Ah en plus il... Oh.
I'm tired. I walked a lot today.
Ah je sais qu'il est tout seul, mais bon, faut faire un effort.
In the basement, which I think is dead. This was a pretty normal day, which I don't have a whole lot of those. Whatever potential threat that is beneath me in this house, this really makes up for it. Nice
Quoi?
place to sleep. I haven't
ouais,
heard anything either. I haven't heard anything in the basement, so that's good.
Il a vraiment pas dû vivre une vie simple
I like
lui.
to
Hein.
keep my radio on. I keep my radio on for a few different reasons as I fall asleep. One, this is an omnidirectional antenna, and it has a 5-mile radius, so I can pretty much hear
you know, anything within a 5-mile radius, and then I can determine whether it's a friend or it's a threat. I can plan accordingly. Secondly is a lot of broadcasts, a lot of radio broadcasts run on loops, and they can be actually surprisingly useful. One of my favorite channels is the Weather Channel. Let's see if we can get it.
The dew point 54 and the relative humidity 86%. The wind was north at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, so it's fully automated using unmanned meteorology stations around the US.
Moi, je savais pas que ça existait, ça. C'est bien, d'un
It
côté.
transmits, you know, real-time weather data, so I can, you know, I can tell how
Oh, il va manger le salopard.
tonight or what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, so I can plan. And thirdly, I like the sound of radio hiss and radio static. It just helps me sleep.
Oh.
It's time for this man to hit the hay.
Ok.
I'm gonna hit the hay. I'm gonna leave this on right here. And I'm gonna stay alert.
Oh non, mais vraiment, les portes, là, je suis vraiment pas bien à sa place. Hein. Je ne sais même pas comment il arrive à dormir. Ouais, bonne nuit. Hein.
I left my radio running that night. It just made me feel safe. And I fell fast asleep.
Oh, la tête.
I definitely hear something.
Oh putain. Mais comment ça, il y va?
Hello?
Oh, mais va te faire enculer. Mais pourquoi il veut taper la tchatch avec un monstre? C'est des monstres ou pas? Il y avait quelque chose. Il y avait quelque chose. Il y avait quelque chose. C'était pas juste son ombre. C'est son ombre. C'est pas son ombre. Non, son ombre, elle est là. Son ombre, elle est là. Là, c'est quelque chose. C'est quelqu'un. Oh putain.
I swore I heard something, but
Non, non.
losing my mind.
On a clairement entendu le truc cassette qu'il a lancé tout à l'heure qui disait I'm sorry.
Just turn this on.
Oh mais fais pas ça.
Archivist here. Thank you for watching this log. We're continuing to restore and edit additional footage as more materials are uncovered. Being a private investigation, I want to extend a special thanks to our patrons who help sustain this archive.
Ok.
Welcome to all the new members.
Ah, c'est drôle. Du coup, ça, c'est l'archiviste qui fait la vidéo, qui upload les vidéos. Ok. D'accord. Bon, alors, pour résumer rapidement là, ce qui se passe. Cette première vidéo, elle était très calme. Pourquoi elle était très calme? C'est que je pense que en fait, comme on suit l'ordre chronologique de ce qui se passe dans le monde de... On a son prénom d'ailleurs à ce connard? Pas du tout. J'ai oublié son prénom. S'il l'a dit, je ne sais pas. Mais ce qui se passe, c'est que dans son monde là, il est déjà tout seul. Il y a déjà des monstres, les Nesters. Et là, il essaye juste de rentrer chez lui, se caler dans sa baraque d'enfance. Et quitte à crever dans sa baraque d'enfance, ça sera peut-être mieux que rien. Ok. Et le problème, c'est que il a une relation au monstre qui est beaucoup trop sereine. Hein. Genre, il est en train de taper la discute, genre bonjour, il y a quelqu'un, des trucs comme ça, c'est assez chelou. Mais là, du coup, à partir de maintenant, si on suit l'ordre chronologique, là, il va se passer des trucs pas cool. Si je comprends bien. Et puis bah on va voir comment ça se passe. Du coup, deuxième vidéo. Du coup, le monde est enfin vide. Et let's go.
Okay. Day 4, squatting in this
Attendez.
abandoned house. I haven't seen another person in 81 days. A couple days ago, I decided to suit up and head north into the surrounding hills.
All right, we're heading out, so I hope I don't die.
I found a map here, barely intact, but enough to help me navigate what was ahead.
Man, it is very chilly out today.
C'est chelou que le monstre se trimballe avec un sac de couchage. Ouais, je suis d'accord. Les monstres, ils ont l'air quand même très humanoïdes.
I also keep my CB radio set to directional and gives me some warning if there's some danger within 5 miles. So if I hear anything, I change course.
Yeah, I don't trust that. So I'm definitely gonna veer in a different direction.
The map led me to 3 different locations: the mall, an underground concourse, and some type of museum. Places that used to be crowded. Yeah. The suburbs are empty, that's for sure. Rows of houses, all vacant, so I thought, if anybody's still out there, they'd be here.
Deuxième log, le voyage. Donc là, de chez lui, il se dit, je vais chercher du monde.
When I reached the first location, I felt pretty optimistic.
Donc The Mall, du coup, le centre commercial. Mais comment il a réussi? Attendez. Alors, je sais pas si c'est fait exprès ou pas. Et ça se trouve, du coup, comme c'est un centre commercial, regardez ici. Il y a quelqu'un qui passe. Là. Parce qu'en fait, comment il fait pour avoir un centre commercial vide, quoi? Je sais pas si c'est un faux raccord ou...
So far, not very promising.
Après, ça se trouve, c'est peut-être des nesteurs, hein.
Unfortunately, I think this place is pretty empty. There's not much here. It really puts me on edge that I can see everything and there's really no place to hide here.
Par contre, le problème de la transition dans l'ordre chronologique, c'est que comment ça s'est passé sa nuit avec l'autre connard?
It's coming from.
Un centre commercial vide, ça me ferait un peu bader aussi. Être vraiment seul dans un centre commercial, c'est tellement grand. On entend des gens bouger là.
See if any of these doors lead to a bunker full of custodians. I don't know.
Ça m'angoisse.
These are all locked. Well, I wish I had some quarters.
Tu peux pas en trouver. Pète quelque chose. Moi, tu geeks un peu, quoi. J'arrive pas à voir les jeux.
Can't believe these are still running.
J'avoue que comment tout tourne tranquillement, sachant qu'il y a plus de personnes sur Terre.
Man, this like really makes me hungry because there's a food court here. Makes me think of like Nathan's hot dogs or something. I could really go for one.
Ah, mais va te faire plaisir, hein.
I think that's gonna happen.
Oh, voilà. Tu fais pas d'efforts aussi.
No offense, but this looks like a shitty place to work in its day.
Putain, j'ai l'impression d'être parano et voir des gens bouger, mais...
At least I see no nesters.
C'est quand même très bizarre. En fait, c'est comme si la Terre était devenue les backrooms, quoi.
We're getting closer. Seems like where it's coming from.
On entend des bruits chelous, là. On entend quelqu'un parler. Attendez. Ça fait...
There's absolutely nothing in there. That was a recording.
C'est clairement quelqu'un qui parle.
Here in the past.
I spent around an hour and a half exploring the mall. It was getting pretty late, and I needed to keep moving. I also
Juste un truc comme ça. Du coup, là, il est toujours chez lui, avec au sous-sol un nid et potentiellement quelqu'un.
saw a figure that I've encountered before moving towards me. I call him Mr. Whiteout. He sounds harmless, but I don't know, something in me just doesn't trust it. My next stop is a series of underground tunnels called Concourse B.
Ça veut dire que il a parlé au truc qui était en dessous de chez lui? Attendez, mais l'information, elle est insane. Il cale ça comme ça, là. J'ai également aperçu une silhouette.
Before moving towards me. I call him Mr. Whiteout. He sounds harmless, but I don't know, something in me just doesn't trust it. My next stop is a series of underground tunnels called Concourse B.
C'est ultra bizarre. Donc c'est pas des monstres, maintenant c'est des silhouettes.
You know, trains connecting nearby towns. But instead, I found passageways linking offices, food courts, state buildings, things like that. With the parking structures below, it must have been packed with workers at some point moving beneath the city.
Oh, pareil, des métros vides, des... Vraiment des grandes gares et tout.
You can get really cornered in one of those kitchens, or else I'd fry up a deluxe.
Donc là, on peut se dire que potentiellement, on va avoir une silhouette qui le suit de temps en
I
temps.
think I'm gonna go too deep into this because it's very maze-like, and I don't want to get lost and not be able to get back outside. beautiful.
Oui, oui. Après, tout est relatif.
Yeah, I should get out of here.
C'est quoi ce bruit?
At this point, it was getting pretty dark, and I was 3 hours from home. I had a little fun on the way to the next location, and then, you know, I don't know what I was thinking, because it started to get dark out. Woo! It's like I lost 2 hours of my time.
Venez déguster des petites glaces de Yomi.
I deserve ice cream.
Attendez, mais la voix, elle était ultra glauque. Attendez.
It's like I lost 2 hours of my time.
I deserve ice cream.
C'est le camion de glace.
I was playing with my radio and acting like an idiot. It's too late to walk back.
Oh, mais y a rien qui va. Il a pété un câble.
It's too late to walk back.
Donc là, il y a une sorte de silhouette en chill. C'est quoi ça? Ça a l'air de briller. Ah mais non, c'était quelqu'un de dos. On le voit à la fin.
It's too late to walk back. I was lucky. Some of the towns I passed through still had working electricity. I assume they're connected to some industrial-sized power center that hadn't yet failed. When I got far from the cities, the darkness was pretty blinding. I hadn't seen a landmark in over an hour, and, you know, out of the darkness now, it appeared. It wasn't ideal, but I needed shelter.
Oh putain.
At any moment, I could have run into a nester, so I had to do something.
Non mais il va pas balancer sa peluche.
So I slept inside the enclosed slide. It was not comfortable, but it worked. When I woke, I continued on my travels. The last place I visited was the taxidermy house.
J'ai l'impression
It used to
qu'il
be a family attraction.
pète un pack et il pète un petit câble. Hein.
I kept mistaking
Oh, c'est glauque.
the
Oh non,
stillness
c'est
for
glauque.
life. Everything looked alive, but it wasn't. Just empty forms stuffed with microfiber.
Hello, Mammoth. Don't worry. I'm not gonna take your little cub or whatever you call it.
Mais à quel moment tu te dis, je vais aller dans un musée de taxidermiste? J'ai quand même l'impression qu'il pète un peu un câble, notre perso. Et je pense qu'en fait, le fait d'être seul et tout, ça doit commencer à attaquer sa santé mentale. Ou alors il a déjà une santé mentale et est déjà attaqué.
Hey, there's some guys doing some work over here. I feel like this guy would really hate me if he was alive.
Bah surtout que t'es en train de le faire chier alors qu'il est en train de travailler quoi. Oh c'est glauque. Ah c'est vraiment glauque.
Okay, I think we're leaving the jungle. What is this, like aquatic world or something?
Oh, on entend un
One
petit
little room
bruit
for the
chelou.
entire ocean, that's pretty generous. Ooh, Model T. Wouldn't mind taking this puppy out for a spin.
Alright, I'm gonna get going.
As I walked home, I thought about nesters. I really don't know much
Ah!
about them. Only that they can shift from calm to hostile in seconds. Once they settle somewhere, infestation usually follows. I've encountered that. They look human, but something is off about them. Something is just not normal. I'm glad to be back home in front of this warm fire with this mug of hot cocoa.
C'est très bizarre.
I didn't find anyone, no, but maybe tomorrow I'll head south towards the water. Anyway.
C'est très bizarre. En fait, j'ai l'impression que notre perso principal, là, alors il est tout seul, il a réussi à se poser et tout, mais j'ai l'impression que niveau santé mentale, c'est pas fou. Parce que pourquoi il a pété un câble? En fait, il fait des actions qui n'ont pas vraiment de sens. Pourquoi il aurait été dans le truc de glace de manière random alors qu'il allait faire nuit et potentiellement avec des nesters à l'intérieur et tout. Et en plus, il y en avait, mais il a pas pété un câble, tout allait bien. Euh, Ouais, en fait, c'est pas trop logique ce qu'il fait, c'est chelou. Bon, bah de toute façon, on va en savoir un peu plus parce que la prochaine vidéo, c'est les nesters m'ont trouvé. Donc bon, let's go et voyons ça.
All right, day 8 of squatting in this house. It's been really nice, actually. I've been able to sleep, shower, recharge. I even managed to get the electricity up and running. Not sure for how long. That means I have a working oven, which is really great. I try not to turn on any lights, especially at night, because I don't want to attract any attention to this house. But last night I messed up like an idiot. I leaned against the light switch and I turned on the living room lights, and the house lit up like a jack-o'-lantern. Just for a second. And now this morning I see someone out in the woods, lurking around.
Mais
Yeah, I see you.
mais c'est quoi ça? C'est quoi, bordel de cul?
It could just be passing by. It could be nothing, but, makes me nervous. I haven't seen him in a few hours, but it really makes me uneasy. So tonight, in addition to cooking my favorite meal, chicken parm, I'll be battening down the hatches, tightening the security, just in case whatever is out there isn't just passing.
Ah ouais, il va faire un remake de Home Alone.
Get some groceries, so let's do that.
Maman, j'ai raté l'avion. The Nester Chicken Pan. Ah. Mais du coup, les trucs qu'ils mangent là, comment ils chopent du poulet? Parce que le poulet, au bout d'un moment, ça périme. Si ça fait longtemps qu'il est seul. Après, ça se congèle aussi.
Let's see. We need a few different things.
Il prend clairement pas du poulet congelé. Non mais il y a un Nester là. Bah attendez. Pourquoi on entend du bordel de Nester? Non mais notre perso il a un problème.
You never know.
Bah oui, oui.
So as I mentioned, I need to prioritize security in this house tonight. I've identified about 3 weak points where an intruder could breach our defenses, and each requires its own special security system, if you will. Weak zone number 1 is the furnace room window. There's no lock on this window, so I've set up a tripwire. And about 7 feet 6 inches away, the average height of a nester, I've strategically positioned a knife upright. When triggered, the tripwire will send the blade straight into the upper chest or the face. Weak zone 2, the basement door. Now, the house is settled pretty unevenly, making this door impossible to keep locked. If a nester enters through here, they'll hear a tape recorder in the next
Putain, mais sa baraque, c'est un gruyère.
saying the following.
Don't hurt me. Don't come in here, please.
The recording will lure them deeper inside, right into a sensor-triggered assault. Weak zone 3, the porch passage door. Now this leads directly into the same basement door with the broken locks. When someone opens this porch door, the friction will strike matches against an igniter that I've rigged. And the matches will ignite a portable gas tank that's been slowly leaking gas all night, so hopefully burning any nester who tries to breach that passageway. And I've also
Mais n'importe
installed
quoi!
noisemakers on all the door handles, so hopefully I'll hear them coming, and I'll see them coming, and that these traps will keep them out. And I'll be able to sleep safely tonight.
Mais son truc qui fuite du gaz, en 1 heure, il y en a plus. C'était une petite bouteille. Et encore 1 heure.
Alright, I'm gonna fillet the chicken now.
Oh putain. Il va nous faire un cours de cuisine, l'enculé.
Alright, now I'm gonna tenderize it. This ensures that the chicken is going to be nice and even all the way around. We're going to put some of this chicken in flour so it absorbs some of the moisture and so the crispiness will stick on.
Non mais c'est important, comme ça on apprend à cuisiner en même temps de se faire caca culotte dessus, c'est incroyable. Par contre, je sais toujours pas comment ils gardent un poulet
Oh,
tranquille. Oh mais non, mais tu chies dans la colle. Tu trolls.
just get rid of that.
Ça m'écœure un peu qu'ils prennent ça à la main. Bon après il a pas d'éponge, j'en sais rien.
Next we'll dip the chicken in the egg batter.
Vraiment, je pensais pas voir un cours de cuisine là. Avec des grands tarés qui sont en dehors de chez
Now
lui.
it's time for what makes the chicken good. Panko. Technically, the panko makes it like a chicken katsu. Some grated parm. That's going to caramelize really nicely on the chicken. Now some salt and pepper. Let's mix this all up.
Moi, je pense que le perso principal, je pense qu'il a des
And
problèmes de
now
santé
here the chicken
mentale.
goes. All right, now it is time to fry these bad boys up.
Oh, regardez à
Not
travers la
good
fenêtre.
to add the oil over an open flame, but I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna get this oil nice and hot. Now you know the oil's ready when you dip the chicken in. It sizzles. Ooh, is that ready? That is ready. I'm actually gonna lower the heat, that's insane.
Parce que je suis sain d'esprit, je suis pas sûr. Hein. Après, je peux pas lui jeter la pierre s'il est vraiment tout seul sur une planète abandonnée.
Very golden brown.
Je pèterai un câble
When it's
aussi.
too pale. I like when it's crispy. Very crispy.
Ça fait penser au cours de poterie dans This House as People in It. Ah putain.
All right, so let's get ready to broil the mozzarella cheese on.
Pareil. Son frometon
Here
là.
we go. Now I'm going to throw this into the oven and broil it.
Ça pourrit. Normalement. En fait, il y a des trucs qui vont pas dans son histoire. S'il était vraiment seul au monde, il galérerait à trouver des trucs pour bouffer, des choses comme ça. Ou du coup, il se ferait pas des plats comme ça en pure chill.
I figured while the chicken parm is cooking, I'm going to set up my sleeping quarters for the night, make a fire, set up my sleeping bag. I was sleeping in the living room before, but to be honest, it's too far from an exit. And given that there was that stranger outside earlier, makes sense to be close to the exit, you know, in case anything happens. It makes it convenient, you know? Kitchen's right here, can make a midnight snack. So I'm gonna set up the fire for the evening. 3-layer base.
Ouais, je suis intrigué, gars. Non, non. Pas sur YouTube, hein. Mon patakick, mec.
Oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. Full moon tonight.
Ah yes, super.
And we can't forget the sauce. This particular sauce I found, it's called Michael's of Brooklyn. Tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh basil, Italian olive oil, oregano, fresh parsley, salt, black pepper, and nothing else, it says in big exclamation points. Wait, I read that.
Qu'est-ce que je peux prendre, putain? Pourquoi je suis en train de regarder un cours de cuisine alors qu'il y a des monstres dehors? Oh, je vais l'entendre manger, je vais péter un câble.
And you always put the sauce on last so it doesn't get soggy. And of course, last but not least, basil. And that is it. Bon appetit. I'm so hungry. Let's see how this tastes.
Bon, attendez, c'est le moment où j'enlève le casque un peu, parce que je vais l'entendre manger. Vraiment, je pourrais le tuer, hein.
It's amazing. I have not had chicken parm forever.
Ça n'a même pas l'air ouf. Oh, ça a pas l'air dégueu, mais... C'est un plat réconfortant, quoi.
All that walking around today got me hungry. That guy really freaked me out outside.
Bah, non. Vraiment? T'as pas l'air tant flippé que ça, t'es en train de grailler.
It just takes a lot out of me.
Il dit ça en graillant comme un gros... En fait, ce qu'il dit
There's like nothing like
et ce qu'il fait,
really good chicken parm.
ça ne va pas ensemble.
Tenderize it and flatten it out so it becomes more like a chicken cutlet. I haven't got like restaurants.
Mais vraiment, sur la vie de moi, arrête de parler la bouche
Any
pleine.
dish and it's like not good.
On va se battre, mec. Je vais te retrouver dans ton monde de con tout seul.
Should be like
Je me transforme en Esther, et je viens de bouffer le cul, hein.
to make sure that your chicken is flavorful. You go to a chicken place and like
En plus, c'est par la bouche pleine pour m'expliquer son putain de poulet.
all the flavors on top, it's in the skin. And then like the chicken itself is just like bland. You know, what are you doing? I do miss restaurants. I miss people cooking for me. Glad I learned a few recipes. Got this at the supermarket.
Attendez, c'était quoi ça? Mais il vient de l'attendre, sa bière. Et c'est fait exprès. Il tend sa bière à quelqu'un, là. J'hallucine pas. Ça, c'est pas un effet genre... ça, c'est un effet voulu. Donc là, il est clairement en train de tendre sa bière à quelqu'un. Il essaye pas de la poser quelque part. Il est...
Man, I'm lonely tonight. Particularly lonely. Just sort of missing some camaraderie, I think.
Il la pose. Je sais pas, j'ai pas
Tell you what
l'impression
I
qu'il la
don't
pose.
miss
Mais...
about people right now? It's feeling in debt to people. You know, emotionally more than anything. You know, being predator to other people's unresolved issues. Feeling obligated to give my time.
C'est bizarre de penser
I
à ça.
always would put boundaries around my time. And sometimes I felt like I had to lie to people because people can be really selfish with your time. If they thought that they could get more from you, they take it, you know? That's what I always hated about having a job. There was always this sense that when you work for someone, they expect you to they expect to squeeze every bit of time they can out of you because they're paying you, and they're not going to pay you for nothing. You know, there are people who believe that because they're giving you money, the money that they know you need to live, they can take advantage of you.
Mais
They assume that if you need the job, you'll do whatever they ask, no matter how stupid or pointless it is, because after all, they're paying you.
t'es seul sur Terre
I don't
et
know.
tu penses...
Money created this like really sick relationship with other people. Once someone gives you money, it becomes a trap and it's really hard to escape. You know, I used to hate having a boss breathe down my neck. Ugh. I'd work an 8-hour shift, and honestly, I'd probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk around with my clipboard, pretending to be busy. I'd move quickly, you know, like I had somewhere important to be, just to look productive. That's what a boss likes to see. Motion. They want to see you doing something, even when the real work only took like 2 hours, you know. You know, if they catch you sitting, they get pissed. Even if there's nothing left to do, you know? So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't.
Alors, les gens me manquent. On passe rapidement à... Voilà tout ce que je déteste chez les gens.
It's like they'd rather see you miserable and in motion than calm and at ease. Makes no sense. It's like they need to see struggle to feel justified in paying you.
J'aime le contenu, c'est bizarre.
So, I pretended.
Il y a un truc qui va pas.
I'd get shit for it, you know? And life is already hard enough, you know? You don't need someone coming down on you for being efficient, you know? Yeah, I know. If I said that to an employer or a business owner, they'd probably think I'm the worst type of employee. But, I mean, come on, man. Do you expect me to care about selling bullshit plastic products while I'm spending my finite time being here?
Qu'est-ce qui ne va pas? Pas d'action, pas trop réaliste. Alors, pour moi, désolé, je coupe, mais en plus, là, il est en train de rant, enfin de déblatérer sur ce qu'il aimait pas chez les gens et tout. En fait, pour moi, et je pense que c'est voulu avoir par la suite, mais la personne qu'on suit là, elle est pas seule au monde. Elle a un gros problème de santé mentale. Et est-ce que, alors, en fait, est-ce que c'est les deux? Ça, je n'arrive pas à le savoir. Est-ce que le fait qu'elle soit seule au monde et que du coup sa santé mentale a décliné à cause de ça, c'est peut-être un truc. Mais pour moi, là, la personne, elle est très clairement en train de péter un câble. Parce que, en fait, cette conversation n'a aucun sens. Par exemple, cette conversation-là n'a aucun sens. Tu parles de t'es seul au monde et les gens me manquent, mais de tout ce que tu dis après, c'est tout ce que tu détestais chez les gens. C'est très bizarre. T'essayes de te rappeler les trucs cool chez les gens, si les gens te manquent vraiment. Que là, du coup, on est typiquement dans le truc de bah non, il est en train de déblatérer tout ce qu'il détestait chez les gens. Donc ça, c'est chelou. Les entités qu'on voit, à chaque fois, les entités, il nous les décrit comme ultra violentes, ultra agressives et tout. Et en fait, pour le moment, à chaque fois qu'il était proche d'eux, on les a vus une fois courir vers lui, mais sinon, il l'agresse jamais. Et il a clairement dormi au-dessus d'un PNQ qui était dans son sous-sol. Il y a personne qui fait ça. Ou du moins, tu te barricades. C'est très bizarre. Et en fait, ses actions, ce qu'il dit, ses tutos cuisine, en fait, toutes ses actions et tout ce qu'il dit n'est pas en concordance avec ce qui se passe et comment il devrait réagir. Donc, il y a un truc qui me perturbe énormément dans tout ça. Et c'est pas un problème de montage vidéo, c'est voulu, hein, tout ça, hein. C'est dans le délire de l'histoire, c'est voulu, hein. Attention, c'est pas un problème de réalisation, quoi. Tout ça, c'est voulu. Mais il y a clairement un truc que je ne comprends pas. Donc, faut continuer, mais il y a vraiment un truc qui ne va pas dans toute cette histoire-là.
Yeah. Now, I know it wasn't my boss, personally. But it was what he represented, It was the whole system. Built so, like,
Et
rich
c'est
people could get
intéressant, hein, mais
richer and everybody else sort of wastes their time. And maybe if I wasn't forced to make money, I'd have time to foster the skills that truly make an impact, but that isn't realistic, though, so.
ah si.
As much as I miss my family, they kept asking me to get a cell phone.
Non, mais en fait, voilà, 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 voilà. Ça, là, cette phrase. Notre personnage principal a un gros problème de santé mentale. C'est, en fait, voilà. C'est à peu près sûr. C'est, voilà.
I remember thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not doing that, Because once they knew I had a phone, I'd be available to them all the time.
En
And
fait,
I want to be available to people all the time.
ouais, mais voilà.
Sometimes I'd even lie. I'd say, I'm going to be out when I was actually going to be home, just so I had an excuse not to answer. And, maybe that's selfish. Maybe I just,
En fait, avant d'être seul au monde, il aimait déjà la solitude.
maybe I just wanted to be left alone. Getting a cell phone felt like it was inviting people into my life on demand, and I didn't want that. Just like, it's not natural for people to have that kind of access to another person. I don't know. That's at least what I think, and I know it's probably comes from an inability to disappoint people. Some would say, "Why don't you just say no if they ask?" But I don't know. Sometimes no doesn't feel like a complete sentence. If I said I wasn't available, they want a reason.
Eh ben, te leur donnes
And
pas.
maybe the reason is I just, like, I don't want to talk right now, you know? Or I was planning to watch a movie. You know, it sounds small, but it wasn't to me. Just, it wasn't.
Ouais, non,
Maybe
mais...
that's
Ouais.
what I needed, you know? Feels like modern day communication was the thief of life. Now, after a long day, sometimes all I wanted to do to unwind was just, you know, relax. Just relax. But saying I need to relax never felt like a good enough reason to fall short of somebody else's expectations, you know, even though it should have been. So I didn't ask for it, I just took it. And if I had to lie to protect that time, I did. Because I shouldn't have to justify wanting peace. And I know that's avoidant.
Ah oui, un petit peu, ouais.
Maybe that was life challenging me to grow, but sometimes I just don't want to grow. Sometimes I just want to rest. Defeats the purpose of relaxing if I have to grow while doing it. You know, sometimes I want to say no to the challenge, put a boundary around life itself, which sounds arrogant because it's impossible. You know, and maybe it's a mirror showing me something about myself that, you know, I don't want to see. My unhealthy desire to numb, my avoidance. Maybe it's showing me something deeper, I don't know. Maybe the truth is I really was afraid I was incapable of connecting with other people the way I wanted to. And that I would never feel close to my family and my friends, not the way I wanted to. At least, you know, and maybe that's why I kept telling myself that people only want to use my time, because it's easier to believe that than to imagine that they actually wanted to spend time with me, get to know me. You know? You know, some days this self-hatred really runs so deep, and I still can't picture people actually wanting to talk to me just to talk to me. It's safer to believe that everybody is a time-sucking vampire than to actually risk rejection.
Mais du coup, les nesters...
You know, I don't know when I became so guarded. I never really felt safe around other people. You know, if something bad happened, I never felt safe enough to share the pain with someone else, so I faced it alone.
Ah bah frérot,
And
un
with
psy, ça t'aurait fait
nowhere
du
to
bien,
let
hein.
it out. Build up over years and years until it got so deep, I couldn't tell you where it began, or how to talk about it, you know?
Il y a ça aussi, hein. Il se retrouve seul sur Terre. C'est un événement marquant. Pourquoi il n'en parle jamais? Qu'il est seul sur Terre. C'est... Je sais pas.
People would ask me, what's wrong? I'd just say, I don't know.
En fait, là, son petit
And I
discours,
used to tell myself that when
ça
the
me fait dire
feeling
qu'il est
gets
peut-être pas
great,
seul sur Terre, hein. Il
when it
esquive
gets
tout le
great
monde.
enough, I'll share. I didn't want to bother anybody. Just felt like, you know, it's not bad enough yet to burden others yet. And then one day, my brother died. and I still couldn't share the pain. That excuse to keep putting it off, it's bottomless. It won't end until I make a beginning. And that loneliness, it just breeds anger, blame, bitterness. I'd given anything to let that go. I just didn't know how. So when I'm alone, I don't have to face any of that, you know? I'm not disturbed.
Il en a gros? Ah, clairement.
So anyway, I have my affirmation that I tell myself every day, and preparing me for when I see other people again.
Ah!
It goes like this. I am likable and I attract genuine connection. So, I say that to myself every day. Pretty good, right? But when people enter the picture, everything surfaces. Resentment, worry, doubt, fear. Giving my time forced me to confront all of that. And
Je comprends pas.
it pushes me to speak up when staying quiet would just feel so much more comfortable and safer. So yeah, I'm protective of my time. Not how good that's doing me now. And it's really because anything that wants to take it also stirs up everything that I'm still trying to keep buried. Anyway, that's it.
C'est...
Alright, I think it's time to hit the hay. Oh, it's been a long day. That was a tasty meal. Gotta have 2 gins.
On entend une sirène en fond.
Oh,
C'était très léger. C'était très léger, mais on entendait une sirène.
alright. See you in the morning.
Là?
What am I seeing right now?
C'est quoi ce bordel?
Fire. That's definitely fire.
What? The fuck? C'est quoi ce bruit qu'on entend? Ah mais... Je comprends pas l'histoire. En fait, je pense qu'en fait, il y a 2 trucs qui se superpositionnent, hein. Il y a notre notre perso principal qui avait des gros problèmes de santé mentale et de connexion aux gens. Mais là, qu'est-ce qui se passe, putain de merde? Attendez, qu'on se remette juste ce passage-là. Donc là, il se lève. Là, il y avait un truc en fond. Là, il y a clairement quelqu'un en train de cramer. Son piège a marché, mais est-ce que c'est vraiment un monstre? En fait, c'est ça, hein. Là, en fait, notre perso principal nous fait clairement penser que c'est peut-être pas un monstre, hein. Bon, après, il réagit bizarrement s'il était en train de cramer, lui. Mais et c'est quoi ce plan? Qu'est-ce qu'on voit là? C'est quoi ça? C'est quoi ce délire? Pourquoi on voit un champ? Il y a un switch, et là on voit un truc bleu. C'est très particulier, hein. C'est... J'adore le premier commentaire. Le mec, il est en train de mettre sa chaîne de YouTube, de cuisine YouTube dans une vidéo d'horreur. J'adore. Non, mais c'est très particulier comme délire, hein. Parce que vraiment, là, on est en train de douter de est-ce que, du coup, il est sain d'esprit? Ou est-ce que vraiment il pète un câble et en fait, il est en train de fuir tout le monde, quoi? Bon, il nous reste 3 vidéos. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Non, mais ça commence là-dessus. Attendez. C'est quoi cette vision d'horreur?
I decided to come up north last night. Just to get away. I actually found this place a while back, traveling from the city to Big House. Thinking about my recovery today. My recovery from bad habits, trauma, the grief. Just never feels like I'm doing enough for my own recovery. Especially now than my current circumstances where I feel such a lack of security that I don't have time to spend addressing anything that's going on inside.
Non, en fait, c'est peut-être ça le truc, hein. C'est peut-être les deux.
Mirror of the other people gone.
Ouais. En fait, on suit peut-être le mec qui a des problèmes de santé mentale dans un monde
I don't
qui
know.
a changé.
I used to see people judging my habits and I'd feel this pressure. You know, I gotta change something, but I can't. Or
Bad habits égale drogue. Je suis pas sûr.
I don't
Peut-être
want
pas.
to.
Peut-être pas.
It's true, I don't want to. I wondered if anybody else felt that way ever. Like, you're addicted to something.
Ah, j'ai rien dit.
I know it's hurting me and likely other people, but truthfully, I just don't want to stop. To say that I don't want to stop, it's terrifying, you know? To say that to another person is terrifying because it doesn't feel acceptable to say. You know, the truth is, I'm in pain. It's not getting better. And I don't want to work on it. But it's the truth, and the truth is the truth. I don't want to stop. I needed someone who could hear me say that, but I could never muster the courage. Because to admit that I don't want to stop something that is hurting me, it opens me up for what I fear the most,
Le son? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, le son?
being abandoned.
Normalement, vous avez le son.
It opens the door for somebody to finally say, you're right. You're not worth it if you don't behave. But what is behaving anyway? You know, not inconveniencing you, not inconveniencing other people. I mean, this is me. Now, I mean, you can argue that in the face of addiction that it's not you technically, but the fear that drives me to it is part of me. Whether
Un
that
écho sur
fear
sa
is
voix?
real or
Comment ça? Mais c'est dans la vidéo ou c'est vous? Vous avez un écho, vous?
made up. It's insane how I contorted myself. I twist myself into an acceptable version of myself for other people, everyone else. And who makes these ideals? These expectations that we're judged by? Hollywood? Religion? Or just general societal fear of repeating history? I don't know. I don't know. Of course, there are bad things out there. Objectively, I can't imagine anyone agreeing with intentionally or overpowering someone or treating someone less than human. I don't. And then I think about the things that we call bad but aren't. I mean, I don't think death, a natural disaster, fit that category. Death isn't bad, it's just unknown.
Oh là!
It's just scary. A natural disaster is just Earth doing its thing. It's not acting with bad intentions. It just is what it is.
Oui, mais...
Anyway, all this makes me think of who I molded myself to be for other humans. Also that, God forbid, I wouldn't be abandoned and left for dead. And look at me now. I mean, it happened anyway. I'm not so sure it matters anymore. I mean, I don't have to be anything anymore. I don't have to be a man, whatever that means. I can cry anytime, anywhere. I can be afraid without the worry of what it says about me. Makes me wonder why I didn't allow myself to do it earlier.
Ah bah tout à fait. C'est ce que j'allais dire. Mais tout ça, tu pouvais le faire avant, quoi.
Makes me wonder why I didn't just maybe pretend like people were gone all along. But then again, how can I learn to accept these things if no one is around to witness it? How can I be accepted for it and prove the fear wrong if there's no one there? I guess I'll just have to learn to accept it for myself.
Putain, oh, il y a les monstres qui arrivent.
Anyway, we got a nester. 2 o'clock, so I'm gonna get out of here before it catches me.
Ah, la dinguerie. Non mais attendez, ah, la dinguerie.
Before it catches me.
Pauvre, je suis en train de pisser et quelqu'un voit mon énorme schlong. Non mais alors, attendez, petite pause parce que, en fait, c'est très intéressant la take prise dans cette série. Et ça me réconcilie un peu avec la série actuellement. En fait, toute la partie de la vidéo d'avant, on voyait le personnage qui se disait oui, tous les gens c'était des connards et tous les autres c'était les problèmes et tout. Et en fait, ça en venait à se dire que non, c'était peut-être pas les autres le problème, c'était aussi moi le problème et ma relation aux autres. Donc ça, très intéressant. Et là, dans cette vidéo-là, en fait, c'est très intéressant de voir le personnage comprendre que, bah, ouais, il a donné beaucoup trop d'importance à ce que pensaient les autres et que, en fait, s'il aurait continué à faire ce qu'il faisait là et à accepter les choses sans se soucier des autres, eh ben, il aurait peut-être pu avancer plus facilement et du coup avancer avec les autres. C'est très intéressant. C'est bizarrement amené dans la série et dans un truc d'horreur surtout, mais c'est assez intéressant. Ça, c'est une dinguerie par contre. C'est quoi ces trucs de fin là qu'on entend? Oh merde, attendez. Attendez, est-ce que c'est la suite? Bah de toute façon, je crois que ça enchaîne. Ok. Mais ouais, du coup, ouais, c'est... En fait, c'est très rare que je vois des trucs d'horreur sur autant impliquer la santé mentale. C'est très particulier. Et qui joue entre le... Il y a un truc horrifique qui se passe, mais notre personnage principal, niveau santé mentale, c'est fragile, quoi.
Okay, day.
Donc là, par contre, le nom de la vidéo, c'est J'ai transformé ma maison en arme. C'est... Voilà, bon.
I don't know. Since I've seen another human being. I was attacked by a nester today. I was out on the northern end of the state when I wasn't paying enough attention to my surroundings and I ran into a nester. It tried to maul me and it ripped my shirt. Luckily, it didn't draw any blood. So, after the attack, I had to quickly regroup and get cleaning supplies. So, I headed for a market. Luckily, I had prepared earlier in the day, reinforcing traps and baking cookies. So when I got back after the attack, I could relax and recover while the traps did their job. But something followed me back. Come right this way.
Non mais... je- Là, notre personnage, il est un peu trop content de tuer des bordels, là.
I woke up early. It was a quiet morning, so I brewed some coffee and prepped some cookies. All right, I got a pot of coffee brewing. Got a fresh cup right here. I'm gonna prep some cookies for tonight because I'm going to the northern side of the state later today, and it's a trek, and I just want something sweet for when I get home, so I'm gonna prep here. It's a super easy recipe. It's 3 ingredients, and it's absolutely delicious. I think that'll be really nice for when I get home later tonight. So the ingredients are peanut butter, sugar, and eggs. Like I said, very simple. So we're gonna do 1 cup of peanut butter.
Putain, one cup, enculé! Il a mis tout le pot, ce bâtard!
Next, sugar. In goes the sugar.
Eh bah, putain!
Finally, 1 egg.
C'est quoi sa recette de con?
Can't believe how simple this recipe is, seriously. One sec.
Okay, everything's all good. Just a nester. Nester at the door, but he moved on. And this is kind of like the consistency we're getting.
Ah, mais je. En fait, je suis vraiment partagé entre notre personnage, il a vraiment pété un câble, ou en fait, il est tellement habitué au Nester que c'est bon, c'est plus un souci, quoi.
So, next we have to roll them into balls and put them on a baking sheet, a little bit of parchment paper.
Mais non, mais tes cookies, ils ont aucun sens.
Roll them into balls, just like that. Okay.
Et ça va faire du caramel.
I'm gonna try some of this batter. All right, come on. So now next what I want to do is I'm going to flatten them into cookies and give them just kind of a cute little design with this fork. So I like to do a little crisscross design. It's actually a little bit easier if you smush them down first with your hands and then put the design on. Again, the design is optional. I just, I got nothing going on, so. So these are ready to go and be cooled down. And later tonight, I'm gonna bake them.
After prepping the cookies, I made my way north. I had seen on my map there was a clearing with various structures, some type of facility, and I wanted to see what it was.
Mais putain de con! C'est quoi ça?
All right, we're here at this strange facility, so I'm just gonna wander around and see if there's anything here. I found this strange sculpture. I'm gonna continue to walk the grounds. Yeah, it's a cold day today. I'm looking forward to a warm fire tonight. This one right here. What is that?
C'est quoi ces sculptures là? Il est où?
This is a really interesting figure here. This looks like some sort of like a colonial building that's melting. For the last couple weeks, I've been squatting in this house. It's got, running water, it has a running stove, it has electricity, although I'm not really supposed to turn it on at this time. Wandering around the cities and the towns that are now vacant. I found a mall, wasn't really anything there. I found some sort of an underground corridor. That was pretty cool. Wow, look at these books. Darkest Hours. I should probably rewrite that book myself. Whoop. Hello. I'm gonna keep walking.
Oh putain de merde.
Oh boy, I can tell you what, I'm feeling a little bit lonely today. You find a weird place like this, but you don't have anybody to kind of, share it with. I really miss laughing. I laugh to myself a lot these days, but I miss the camaraderie of laughing with another person. I gotta admit, I used to have some pretty elaborate jokes. I remember as a joke, I changed my name to my father's name, Gail. And I started to dress like him and, wear his glasses and stuff like that. And it was funny. I mean, I think he started to get really upset when I started to wear his pajamas and sleep in his bed, make copies of his social security card. Then it got he didn't really think that was funny.
Allô? Mais ça va pas ou quoi? Mais je... Non, non, mais en fait, notre perso, là, il ne va pas bien. Il ne va vraiment pas bien. Je... Non, oui, en fait, il a des gros problèmes. Personne fait ça. Personne. Non, mais là, en fait, il s'est littéralement fait passer pour son père. Non, mais... Putain de merde.
Look at this.
Qu'est-ce que...
I'm gonna take a load off for a minute here. Seems like as good a place to sit as any.
Je sais pas, on dirait un cimetière, ton truc, là.
Which sounds pretty good right about now.
Oh, arrête de manger, putain, je t'en supplie. En plus, des trucs bien croustillants, c'est dégueulasse.
You know, well seasoned. I can't remember the exact brand. A lot of the supermarkets in this area still have running power, which is pretty cool. Hopefully, the generator's still working at this particular grocery store. Keeps it running, which is nice. I'm feeling a bit jumpy today because I don't know, I've been noticing a lot of folks out in the woods lately outside, at least out back of where I'm staying right now. They haven't really paid me any attention except for one incident. Actually, I had to burn one of these figures that was out in the back of the house. Wow, it really opens up out here.
Et il dit ça, mais tranquille, hein.
Wow.
Non, j'ai dû cramer un de ces trucs, mais tranquille. Un lundi matin. Qu'est-ce que c'est tout ça? Mais où est-ce
I
qu'il
guess I
est?
feel a little bit better being on this open space than in the closed off woods. Is this like a home that was like almost built? Got these little stools here. God, I should have brought gloves. Really not fall time anymore. I mean, it's not like early fall. I wish I kept like a calendar of days. I don't really know exactly what month it is. I'm gonna guess it could honestly be mid-December for all I know. All right, let's keep moving.
Sur sa caméra, il n'y avait pas un horodatage, d'ailleurs?
What is this thing? Oh, there's a lookout. Oh, well, it goes to here. I can see the radio tower from here, and that's about a mile south of my house, so my house is just over those hills. I can't wait to get back. I really need to start a fire. It's freezing.
Oui, bah oui, oui.
Sculpture, statue, lookout.
Oh, le toboggan chelou.
All right, this is our next bizarre sort of structure we have here. Bizarre.
Ouais, c'est... C'est de l'art. Je comprends pas tout.
This is definitely one of the stranger structures that I found at this facility. Oh, I'm coming down. Oh, come.
Oh, cette bille en 4K, là.
Paul Pierce. Let it rain. Oh, God.
Franchement, il a 50 000 paniers, il en touche pas un, quoi.
This was a much needed fun experience. You know, things have been a little tight, a little serious lately. You know, I've been feeling a bit spooked out by some of what's been going on around my house, you know. A lot of times it feels like, you know, you're pushed out of a place, and I've been starting to get that feeling a little bit more and more lately. It's getting dark
so I do need to get home because I don't want to be out after dark. Things don't get better after dark.
Once again, I mismanaged my
Mais
time.
putain, mais comment
as
il
if
fait pour
I'm
chier autant?
looking to find pain. I could feel it on my skin.
Oh bordel.
And that's when it struck.
Attendez, attendez.
I could feel it on my skin. And that's when it struck.
Ah, ils ont la gueule ouverte. Attendez, je sais pas si vous le voyez bien. Ils ont la gueule ouverte et ils sont habillés comme des culs, quoi.
There was something different about this Nestor, though. I kept thinking I lost him, and then I'd see him again. Usually they forget quickly, but not this one.
Ah. Ah, cette tête de fou. Mais ils sont tous chauves.
I was able to gain some distance between me and it. Luckily, it had a very distinct sound, so I could track its distance from me on my CB radio. Next, I had to get some cleaning supplies to wash off the dirt from the attack and calm my nerves. Alright, I gotta be quick about this.
Comment ça, faut qu'il fasse vite? Je comprends pas. Il fait nuit, là? Faut que je fasse vite, il est en plein de chill dans le couloir et il prend des plans caméra. Il fait vraiment pas vite. Il se fout de ma gueule. Non mais voilà. Typiquement, je comprends pas ce qu'il fait là. Tu viens de te faire poursuivre. Le dernier truc que tu veux faire, c'est d'aller au supermarché, t'acheter des trucs pour aller te détendre ce soir. C'est très bizarre. Tu fais ça le lendemain au pire. Ah, je m'attends à avoir un connard à chaque fois. Hein. Avec son travelling à la con, là. Oh bah t'as raison.
Sure enough, the Nestor followed me home.
Oh
I
putain.
figured if he was going to keep following me, I might as well lead him home into one of my traps. I'd recently updated them and I was excited to hopefully see them work. Now, I'm not a firearm guy. I've never really owned a gun or even held a weapon. But I had recently come across an ammunition store, and I felt my circumstances warranted it.
Le savoir armé, bizarrement, ça me met pas bien. Normalement, dans tous les personnages de films d'horreur, des trucs comme ça, tu te dis, mais chope une arme. Bah lui, bizarrement, ça me met pas bien.
It felt great being fully stocked up. I felt safe.
Bah
And with my
putain.
arsenal, I was able to rig a fully automated frontline shooting system that I could control from the comfort of my home. But in order to do that, I needed to run to a hardware store to get parts and supplies. I rigged the system using PVC pipe, mechanical swivel,
J'ai l'impression de voir un mec qui va faire un attentat.
to a small control box that lets me manually operate and automate the weapons from my home. All a Nestor needs to do is walk in front of the infrared center and boom. As soon as I got home, I rigged it. The next trap I'm particularly excited about because it's simple yet effective. I call it the mirror trap. The nesters towards the middle of the state are a bit more brain dead.
C'est vraiment leur tête. Leur tête, là, je... Ouais, c'est particulier, hein.
And mostly blind, unless, of course, an object is within a few feet of them. I learned that mirror reflections can really confuse these nesters. So I set up a series of mirrors on the front and the back lawn. If any nester catches its own reflection in one of the mirrors, it'll likely attack it. They usually get cut up and bleed out. Like I said, simple. Third and final trap throws them off my scent. I call it the sound mat. I rigged a pressure mat outside my front door and connected it to a loudspeaker a few yards from my house. If a nester steps on the mat, it triggers an alarm. The sound draws them away from the house and towards the speaker. I've also left a bunch of brand new shirts soaked in lake water underneath the speaker. The idea is to confuse the scent and keep them focused on the speaker until they hopefully forget me. With the trap set, I felt safe enough to let my guard down. While I waited for the cookies to bake,
Ah putain, j'ai cru qu'il allait leur faire un tuto cuisine, l'enculé.
myself up.
Oh non, non mais je veux, je veux pas te voir dans ton bain, mec. Oh salopard, tu nous montres pas de fesses, hein.
I always need to take like so much shampoo. My hair is so long. I gotta cut it myself soon. Honest conditioner. I haven't conditioned in so long, honestly. I didn't really felt the need to condition because, like, it's just nice. Doesn't always have to be attached to somebody else touching your hair or something. I used to love like going to like a hair salon or someplace where like somebody cuts your hair and they like wash your hair and scrub your head. Gentle facial cleanser. I really like maximizing my time. So while my conditioner is working, let's work on the face.
Oh putain. Pas la
I
kick.
got this bubble bath stuff, so I'm gonna put this in. I don't know how much to put in, but
Ah bah, pas autant.
bubbles ain't bad, so.
Vas-y, sa baignoire, elle a un double robinet. C'est beaucoup quand même.
Got a bath bomb too. Oh. Oh,
Stop it.
nice. That bath bomb was tickling me at the bottom of the tub. I hope I didn't get my tea. Oh, it feels so good. Just
C'est ses cookies
wash
ici?
all the dirt from the day off. Got some things here that
Parce qu'ils ont l'air dégueulasses,
I
hein.
need to try. So I'm gonna try this. This is a face mask. H2O activated charcoal lemon juice. Deep detox. God, do I need it. Oh, that's like.
Ah bah voilà.
Here it goes.
Le film d'horreur, il a commencé. En fait, tous les nesteurs, c'est des mecs qui ont des masques, comme ça.
Cucumbers. Now I'm gonna take some deep breaths. In for 4, hold. Out for 6. Here I go.
Ah, j'aimerais entendre le gun là, dehors, qui s'active.
Scrubbing my fingernails, still a lot of dirt in them. It's been 15. This mask is now home to all of my toxins.
Yes.
I'm gonna try these hydrogel eye pads. Patented 5-day hydration complex. I mean, it keeps my eyes hydrated for 5 days. I don't even want to know what goes into making that possible. I feel very odd.
Non mais maintenant il nous fait un tuto make-up, j'en peux plus. Et ces cookies, ils ont l'air dégueulasses.
That Nestor attack today was scary.
Ah bah oui, ça se voit, t'as l'air effrayant.
The weird thing was I knew it was coming. You can almost always feel a Nestor nearby by the way the air changes. The air will brush my skin like warm Velcro, and my body tingles like a dose of Novocaine wearing off.
Novocaine, c'est quoi ça?
I've made the mistake of ignoring that feeling in the past, and it's almost got me killed every time. I think a part of me wants to pretend that things are normal, and that feeling, it is anything but. But training myself to notice the feeling of presence, it's the first line of defense. It's maybe one of the most important survival tactics to hone. Anyway, I've been in this bath a little too long and I'm turning into a prune, so...
Let's go.
It's been way more than 15 minutes since these flapjacks have been on, so... I'm gonna get out. Before I do, I can't believe I forgot to do this.
Eh bah yes. Non, il est vraiment un pur chill, ça me... Ah, il va finir son tuto make-up.
So, I've got all my fun little lotions and potions over here that I'm looking forward to trying. First, I'm gonna start shaving my neck.
Ah, il le fait en accéléré, merci.
I'm gonna put on some of this. This is a hydrating face serum. Learning to notice Nestor's presence, by the way, is only useful with certain types. The ones further south, they tend to give themselves away earlier. They're slow though. Mostly blind unless something's right in front of them. But once you cross their radius, they react fast and without hesitation. They're taller, stronger, but they don't rush you. The thing about them. Even when you feel their presence, it doesn't mean that they're coming closer. It usually means that they've already noticed you. Running doesn't help.
Ah ouais.
Running only tells them who you are. Alright, next is this moisturizer. It's gonna feel really nice over the
Ah
serum.
mais putain, mais je m'en bats les couilles de son tuto make-up, là.
I can feel my skin just like... just drinking it up, going, thank you. I remember my mom when I was a kid, she used to make me water her flowers in the garden. She said if you listen really closely, you can hear them going, thank you. I used to kind of
thank you,
really
it is.
little when she told me that. It wasn't like a fun, cute thing, but as I got older, it was kind of funny. Eye cream. Oh, that feels really nice. My skin looks very dewy and vibrant. I used to hate cutting my fingernails as a kid. For some reason, it always makes my fingernails feel really weird. Once you cut your fingernails and you like touch them, it's like they're like sensitive. I can never really put my finger on it and explain it to other kids. I used to describe when you like lay on your foot and it falls asleep. I used to describe it as it feels like my foot is full of sand. People are like, what? I'm like, yeah, it feels like my foot is full of sand. And my mom was like, I don't know what to do about that.
Ouais?
A little bit of rose water.
Ah mais putain, mais... Je t'en supplie, faut que ça se termine, hein.
Now I'm gonna try this sort of like hair oily, sort of textural thing. I was amazed by that Nestor's ability to stalk and follow me today. Even when I seemingly lost him, I couldn't believe how he kept finding me. It felt like it was watching to see what I'd do next.
Ah ouais? Du coup, ça t'inquiète pas, ça?
I'm certain he's on his way to me now. He's got to be out there. And I don't know if it was the attack or just some are more capable than others and have different abilities in that way.
Mais...
But he was locked onto me.
Et ça t'inquiète pas?
Anyway, I'm gonna go check on those cookies. After I was finished, it was time to enjoy my cookies and do some hunting.
Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby, I'm here.
I found this radio in a vacant lake house a ways back. It still works. I rigged it to the antenna on top of my house. It seems counterintuitive, but it's been luring nesters towards my house into the traps. Yeah, I figured keeps the surrounding areas safer, less nesters for when I do need to go out and get supplies.
Bah non, mais pas du tout, tu les attires tous, c'est complètement con.
If you're looking for companionship, do I have a deal for you? I know just the place. There's a big house on top of a hill not too far. That one nester who was following me had a very distinct sound. So if I hear him, I'll know. Ah, you hear that alarm? You hear it? One was on my front doorstep. Not today, not today. Get out of here.
Et arrête de parler à la bouche pleine, je t'en supplie.
There he is. That's it. That's him. That is him. Well, he's coming in clear. He's got to be right outside.
He didn't even make it past the frontline system. All in all, it was a pretty intense day, but very relaxing in the end.
Quoi?
Anyway, it's been a long day too, and I'm signing off to hit the hay. Good night.
Je comprends vraiment.
Archivist here. Thank you for watching this log. We're continuing to restore and piece together more footage as new material keeps surfacing. As this is a private investigation, I want to extend a special thanks to our patrons who help sustain the archive.
C'est drôle.
And welcome to those who've recently joined. I do my best to shape a cohesive narrative from what's available, but much of what we uncover doesn't make it to YouTube. This is where the rest of the archive lives. If you'd like to support...
Ah, du coup, ils ont gardé des trucs sur leur Patreon. Ah, c'est intelligent. Ok, bon. Eh ben, il reste une dernière vidéo, mais... En fait, vraiment, je suis perturbé, et je pense que tout le monde est perturbé dans les commentaires, du décalage entre sa vie, comment il joue, enfin, comment il vit, et ce qui se passe à côté. Et c'est même pas une habitude, genre, c'est un lundi pour lui. Parce que, comment il le dit, c'est il est stressé, il en peut plus et tout. Mais à côté de ça, il a l'air complètement déphasé, il a l'air de s'en foutre complètement, quoi. Donc, ouais, c'est très bizarre. C'est très particulier. On va regarder la dernière vidéo, mais la dernière vidéo me fait... C'est un peu dommage, c'est que là, ça va parler de avant que tout le monde parte. Donc, on va peut-être en savoir un peu plus sur pourquoi tout le monde a disparu. Mais très chelou, ouais. Eh bah tiens, un petit Nestor, encore. Plus ça va et plus ils sont mieux faits.
I've always felt alone. Even before all this. Like I won't be okay. A looming feeling like I'm
constantly on the edge of a dreadful, sad existence and true happiness.
Ah ouais, ouais, ok.
And in order to protect that true happiness and evade hell, I need to fight, scratch. I feel pressure. I feel irritable. I feel overworked and misunderstood. I feel threatened by everyone. I feel alone. Like my life will crumble unless I grab onto it and shift and work it around. If not me, who else will? I think I feel alone because I was never willing to share the burden. You know, I had girlfriends, family, friends, a recovery network. And while I may be alone in my specific personal endeavors, I was not alone in the struggle of life because everyone in my circle struggled with life. They all had desires, fears, and disappointments and successes. They understand the feeling around all of this. Again, maybe not as it relates to my specific aspirations, but in their own subgroups of life. I could have shared all of this with them.
Mais il le faisait pas.
The biggest success or the biggest failure. And they'll always be with me. If
Du coup,
only I let them in.
Ouais, voilà, il le faisait pas,
I
quoi.
was not alone. But I chose to keep them shut out.
Mais,
Now
mais, c'est quoi ces plans? Comment il filme ça? Parce que là, du coup, il a mis sa caméra tranquille.
I feel alone deeply. You can share what's happening. It's never gonna feel like the perfect time with some people, but saying, you know, I had this thing not work out and I'm just feeling sad. Or I'm having fear about something and I just want to honor those emotions and share them with someone because it helps me feel less alone. I know I can't fix it right now, but I just need to be heard. But I always had this paranoia. This paranoia that this world wants to see me fail.
Wow.
That it only wants me to get vulnerable so it can use it against me. You know, this world does not want me to succeed because for me to succeed pulls me away from playing the game. And everybody wants you to just shut up and play the game too because then they can feel good about playing. It distracts them from the emptiness of it all. You know, don't go after your dreams. It's not practical. Get a good job, work for someone else. Take a vacation once a year. Marry young, get a hobby. This is as good as it gets. And I have this feeling towards a lot of people, this feeling like if I failed, then they get more of what they want from me. So I keep my life quiet, only sharing superficialities, lightly brushing my fears with a smile on my face when really, I am a knight covered in rusty armor, pulling my helmet close so nobody can see my welling eyes. Yeah, maybe I'm just projecting. Maybe I wanted to take from others, so I'm paranoid. My inner world has become what I see in the outer world.
Ouais, c'est
I
ça
block
qui...
and I try and manage what everybody knows around me and doesn't know so that I can control the narrative of my life. And that's where I go wrong, because what I'm really afraid of is life having its way with me. You know, deep down, I know I'm not in control. I know all these things that I'm trying to keep away are life molding me. And what if I don't like what life molds me into? You know, I always heard people say about their life, I had no idea I was going to end up where I ended up. And that scares me. I want to know.
Oh.
I want proof from life that I'm going to be okay with what it does with me. I feel like I should have a say. It's my life.
Oh, le contrôle fric. C'est un truc de fou.
But it's not. And I know it. Whatever this is was given to me. I didn't create it. And there's too much chaos in this world to dictate where it's headed.
Ouais, mais...
I have control of so little.
Ah bah ça, clairement.
Some days I fight it. Other days I check out completely. Hide. As if I can pause life. And I come out and I try again. And I get eaten up and spit out one more time. I'm always pausing to lick the wounds I received, trying to continually fight a monster.
Oh là. L'image change, là.
Anyway.
Il y a 40 secondes de bleu.
Archivist
Ah,
here.
ok.
Thank you for watching this log. We're continuing to restore and piece together more footage as new material keeps surfacing. As this is a private investigation, I want to extend a special thanks to our Patreons
Non, bah
who
ok.
stay in the archive.
Bah, c'était la dernière vidéo. Je... C'est ouais, c'est très particulier comme approche pour on va dire, une série d'horreur. Je crois que c'est la première fois que je vois une série d'horreur qui se concentre plus sur la santé mentale du protagoniste plutôt que l'horreur qui se passe dans le monde autour de lui. Parce que je pense, de ce qu'on a vu et tout, qu'il est vraiment seul au monde. Mais en fait, on a toujours un doute de est-ce que c'est pas dans sa tête? Mais en fait, comme il le filme et comme on voit sa POV grâce à la caméra, j'ai envie de dire que non, c'est pas dans sa tête, c'est vraiment ce qui se passe dans sa vie, quoi. Mais du coup, il y a toujours ce sentiment de, en fait, c'est peut-être un peu dans sa tête, ou alors, du coup, de ce qu'on apprend du personnage, en fait, il était tellement seul avant que le monde est devenu comment il se sentait avant. Et c'est là où tu peux te dire, waouh, c'est assez fou. C'est assez fou. Et est-ce que du coup, tout ça, ça découle de sa vie et la psychologie et la manière dont il vivait avant? On peut pas vraiment le dire. Le seul truc que je ne comprends pas, en fait, dans tout ce monde-là, c'est les nesteurs. Qu'est-ce que sont les nesteurs? Et en plus, les nesteurs, pourquoi il les a appelés les nesteurs, les faiseurs de nid? C'est très bizarre comme terme, faiseur de nid. Parce que au pire, on en a vu un se caler, mais c'est pas comme s'il se mettait à plusieurs et il construisait des trucs, quoi. Donc c'est très particulier. Mais Cette série est intéressante. Alors après, faut aimer le délire de voir plus le point de vue, intérieur du protagonisme dans un monde, heu, horrifique. C'est Je dirais que c'est pas forcément ma came. Ça m'a intrigué, mais c'est une série que je ne sais pas si j'arriverai à la suivre sur tout le long parce que, bah, le côté, vraiment introversion et santé mentale du personnage principal, ouais, c'est pas mon délire, quoi. Mais le monde qu'il y a autour et savoir ce qui se passe et pourquoi il est tout seul et pourquoi, du coup, cet, archiviste chope des cassettes d'un mec qui est dans un monde seul, mais que, pour le coup, il y a quand même notre monde parce qu'elle nous envoie ça sur YouTube, elle. Donc c'est quoi? C'est un monde parallèle? Il est dans une sorte de faille spatio-temporelle, le con? On sait pas. On sait pas. Mais ouais, c'est très intéressant. En tout cas, la série est pas mal. Dans son délire, la série est pas mal et grand bravo à eux parce que c'est un très bon taf. Et je comprends pourquoi, du coup, la série est relativement suivie.